Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Let's come to standing to begin with. Before I give a little intro, I want to do one quick breath work pattern, one move to sync us up. Then we'll talk and get into the fascial maneuvers. So, if you're still waking up, if you're feeling good, this is going to be an activating breath. So, if you happen to be feeling like already too much tension in the system, any anxiety, I would recommend doing a big inhale and long, slow exhales. Find some yawns if you're needing to calm down the system. If you're wanting to wake up a little bit more like me, here's what we're going to do. It's going to look like this. So I inhale on the way up, and then I exhale on the way down. Inhale through the nose, exhale can be through the mouth or the nose. So I inhale up, whole body. You feel lightheaded, you can grab a wall if you need to. You can take a knee. Just notice we did 30 seconds of breathing, how different the world feels already. So before we go into the first fascial maneuver, let's just map it out real quick. So I'm going to step my right leg over my left. I'm going to take my right hand, put it underneath my left armpit. I'm going to take my free left hand and give myself a hug. I'm going to look over my left shoulder, but rotate my body to the right. Pull in your spinal pelvic lock. That means belly button to spine, perineum up. Take in 3 breaths through the mouth, in and out. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Big inhale through the mouth, turn this into a yawn. Pull yourself a little deeper on the exhale and relax and shake it out. All right. So I'm just going to talk for about 2 minutes here. Feel free to keep moving in your space. If you want, you can sit down in a squat or close to the floor. But I would love to get in the habit of being able to listen to words as you keep some life in your body. So that can be a shake, that can be a little spine movement, simply walking around. Welcome to NeuroFascial Reset. Super excited today to share some of my favorite stuff alongside this new work with the fascial maneuvers that I've been learning this past month. And I've been telling everyone I've been teaching movement and dance for 15 years at this point, and this fascial maneuvers might be the best thing that I've found. It's definitely tied for first place with a few other favorites. In order for it to work the best, having a little understanding of the fascial system. So the fascia, continuous biotensegrous web, meaning everything is connected to everything else. Underneath the skin, all the fascia, encasing every muscle, every organ, every blood vessel, every nerve, all fascia, even down to the individual cells of the tissues, has a fascial layer that is connected, and it actually goes inside the cell to the nucleus. So you have this interconnected web that is the same chemical composition as a quartz crystal. So you have this liquid crystalline gel-like fascial substance, which can be as fluid as water or as strong as steel. Is the coolest shit. So much research coming out on it. So what makes these maneuvers work is the fact that there's winding up the system. So we're going to do a lot of this counter rotation, body turning one way, head turning the other. Think of it like wringing out a towel. So I'm going to do this counter spiral action. We're going to wring out our systems of stress and tension. They've done studies to show that biomarkers you'll reduce the stress in your body 75 to 90% after about 15, 20 minutes of doing the fascial maneuvers. It's working on the physical layer, so freeing up restrictions in the joints, restrictions in the organs. It's working on the biochemical layer, so the dose, D-O-S-E, dose molecules, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. It's creating nitric oxide, something Joe Dispenza talks about. It's activating the endocannabinoid system, so you might feel this like runner's high feeling. The mechanical movements create electricity in the body, so there's also an energetic layer opening up all the acupuncture meridians. So we'll be using breath, we'll be using different movements and postures, and then I invite you to set an intention for yourself for this session. Intention for self-healing, intention for more freedom in your body, freedom in your mind, inviting in a sense of gratitude, a sense of self-love. Thank yourself for showing up to practice today. First half of the class approximately will be standing. Last 20 minutes will be on the floor. If at any point you need to go to the floor and do some pandiculations, always welcome. So we're going to start with totally twisted. I'm going to do it standing. You can do this seated as well. If you're seated, you're just going to be sitting down and cross one leg on top of the other. So let's find that position again. I'm going to take my right leg, step it over my left. I'm going to take my right hand underneath my left armpit. My left hand gives myself a hug. When I say pull in your spinal pelvic lock, that means activate your perineum, pull your belly button to your spine. So we want to create a pressurized system here. So we need to make sure we're not losing pressure down below. Spinal pelvic lock in, I look over my left shoulder, I turn my body to the right. I'm trying to go deeper here without putting excessive tension into the body. We're going to do what's called a staged breath. I'm going to take 3 big inhales through the mouth with pursed lips. Here we go. Inhale, more, more, rotate deeper, exhale. Keep the spinal pelvic lock in. Staged breath in through the mouth. More, more, rotate deeper, exhale. Staged breath in through the mouth. More, more, rotate deeper, exhale. 6 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Think about growing taller. Rotate deeper on the exhales. Relax the shoulders. Connect to your intention. Start of a smile in the corners of the mouth. Good. Keep the arms and legs where they are. Rotate back towards center slowly. Now we're going to look over our right shoulder and rotate the body to the left. Pull the spinal pelvic lock in, grow a little bit taller. Stage breath in through the mouth. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. Stage breath. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. One more time, in through the mouth. More, more. Rotate deeper and hold. Exhale when you need to. 6 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Spinal pelvic lock stays in. Rotate deeper on the exhale without tension, no pain. Relax the shoulders. Start of a smile. Connect to your intention. Try to find a yawn here. Unwind, let it go. Shake it off and go for a little walk. Let that integrate. Notice what you notice. Any changes in your perception. After doing these multiple times a day, I get the runner's high, relaxed feeling on one round. Good. So we're gonna do the second side. We're, the first step is creating a little torque windup in the lower body. So again, it's counter spiral, winding up the whole system. So feet can be close, feet can be a little further away. If I need to, I can stand close to a wall. So just in case I start to lose my balance, be safe. Left foot over the right leg, left hand underneath the right armpit. Free hand, give yourself a hug. We're going to look over the right shoulder, rotating the body to the left. Spinal pelvic lock in, grow a little taller, stage breath into the mouth. Here we go. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. Into the mouth. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. Stage breath. More, more. Rotate deeper and hold. Exhale when you need to. 6 breaths into the nose, out through the mouth. 2, 3. Spinal pelvic lock stays in. Connect to your intention. Relax the shoulders. Start of a smile. Slowly let the body unwind towards the center. Keep the arms and legs where they are. I'm going to look over my left shoulder, rotating my body all the way to the right. Find that counter spiral. Pull in your spinal pelvic lock. Grow taller. Stage breath into the mouth, pursed lips. Here we go. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. Again. More, more. Rotate deeper. Exhale. One more time to the mouth. More, more. Rotate deeper. Squeeze out extra stress and tension. Exhale. Spinal pelvic lock stays in. Relax the shoulders. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Gently pull deeper while finding more relaxation. Breathing in some self-love and gratitude. Exhaling out any excess thought, emotion, energy. Try to find a yawn here. Let the body unwind back towards center. Let it go. Find a little free movement. Shake it out. Go for a little walk around your space. Send a little gratitude to the space itself that you get to practice in today. Cat sitting here for the month, so I get to teach in front of this wall of plants, which is awesome. All right, good, good, good. Next up, anti-gravity. So I'm going to interlace my fingers. I'm going to put them on my neck. Then I'm going to pull my skin up towards the back of my head. So I'm just going to show you the positions real quick, since we got some people here for the first time. So first position, I'm going to be face, chest, elbows up to the sky. Then I'm going to tuck my chin to my chest. The whole time I'm pulling the skin up. From here, we're going to take a breath in. We're going to look up to the right, Then we're going to exhale, center. Same thing to the left. Inhale, left, exhale, center. Then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to bend my knees, stick my butt out, come down as much as I can. And this time we're going to rotate the body. Inhale, rotate it to the right. Inhale, rotate to the left. We'll do that 3 times per side. Then, if possible, coming into a full deep squat. Then it'll be hips up, roll up one at a time to finish where we started. If you can't do the deep squat, you're just going to come back up to standing again. All right, all together now. Interlace the fingers, pull up the skin on the back of your neck towards your head. Spinal pelvic lock in, belly button to spine. Bring your face, chest, elbows up towards the sky. Take a breath. Big breath in and hold. Tuck your chin to your chest. Traction the spine. Exhale. Inhale. Elbows in. Rotate. Look up to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale. Up and to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale. Right. Exhale, center. Inhale. Left. Exhale, center. One more time. Inhale. Right. Exhale, center. Inhale. Left. Exhale, center. Good. Bend the knees, stick the butt out, come down towards a squat, elbows go out wide. Keep tractioning the skin on your neck. Big inhale through the mouth. Full body rotates up and to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale to the left. Exhale, center. Inhale. Right. Exhale, center. Inhale. Left. Exhale, center. Inhale. Right. Exhale, center. Inhale. Left. Exhale, center. Keep tractioning the skin on the back of your neck. Come down towards a full squat. Tuck your chin to your chest as much as you can. Tuck your tail as much as you can. Trying to touch your head to your tail. Squeeze your elbows in, your knees in. 3 breaths in and out through the mouth. 3 in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep the head low while you bring your hips towards the sky. Straighten the legs if possible. Keep tractioning the skin on the back of your neck. A little sway side to side here. Pulling your head off. Slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. When you get to the top, bring your face, elbows, chest towards the sky one more time. Spinal pelvic lock in. Let out a big sigh. And release. The world feels brighter. Go for a little walk, see what you notice. A little opening in the spine, perhaps. Look, sometimes do like a full yawn. Pandiculation, another way to bring all the fascia of the body alive. Yawning, pandiculation, really good way to integrate movements as well because we're turning on every cell in the body. All right, so totally twisted the first one, anti-gravity. Those are, I think, 2 of the most involved ones, like with multiple steps. They get kind of shorter and easier for the most part from there. So next one is called swinger. Going to keep my chest and face up, Drop my fingertips to my kneecaps. I'm going to take my left hand, reach it over on top of my right shoulder. I like to go straight on the skin. I'm going to take my free hand, my right hand, traction my tricep, so bringing the skin down towards my elbow. And then I rotate my whole body across. My whole body is going to my right. My head looks to the left. I squat down. Try to find that full rotation. Here we just do 6 big breaths in and out through the mouth. Here we go. Keep rotating deeper. Squat lower if you can. Good. Come on out. Shake it out. When I say shake it out, I'm also allowing for any impulses for a little spine articulation, different stretches. So trusting the wisdom of your body that knows exactly these little movements that help organize your system. Second side. Chest and head up. Bent knees, I drop my fingertips to my kneecaps. Now I'm going to take my right hand over on my left shoulder. I'm going to take my left hand, grab my tricep. Traction the skin towards the elbow is key. And then I keep rotating all the way to my left, but I look my head to the right. Drop down, squat down, pull yourself a little bit deeper. 6 big breaths in and out through the mouth. Here we go. Pull yourself a little bit deeper and come on out. Go for a little walk around your space. That's what we're going to do for the Fascial Maneuvers series today is my new favorites for the cranium. So I'm going to take my right hand, important that you get right and left correct this time. The heel of my hand I'm going to put into my temple here, my fingertips facing backwards. I'm going to take my left hand, same position, but my fingertips facing forwards. I'm going to try to crush my head, so squeeze in the head as much as you can, and then rotate the fingers towards the top, keeping that rotated skin. You can stay here if you want. I like to interlace my fingers, that gives me a little bit more traction. From here, I'm going to yawn. And start to move your head around, opening and closing your mouth. Finding interesting sensations. Chin to the chest, looking to the right, looking to the left. You're finding a little flow with it. Really get into all of the muscles of the face, all the fascia in the face. Good, let it go. One more time, little walk in your space. And as you're doing this, keep checking in with what do you feel? Notice these small little shifts in perception. Notice these shifts in your internal perception as well. How does the interoception, how do you feel in your system? I always feel like the excess noise really drops doing this. So I always feel just much more calm, present, happy to be here in the moment. All right. Next up, I want to take a short venture into some soft dynamic elasticity. So we're going to do the pecs and the hip flexors, the parts that get shortened the more we're sitting, the return towards the fetal position, as I call it. So anything that is the opposite of the fetal position also tends to be very good for us. So that's what we're going to do. A little bounce, softness in the knees. I'm taking my hands out and not just going straight back, I'm thinking out and wide. So I'm going to create a trampoline effect. The trampoline is going to work better if it's taut versus a slack trampoline. So every time I'm working on the shoulders, I'm also opening up the fascia around the lungs, allowing for more breath. And start to play with different orientations of the hands as you go back. So thumbs can be up, thumbs can be down, thumbs can be back, thumbs can be forward. So getting into all of the different angles of this three-dimensional structure. I'm trying to find a little bounce, a little sensation that feels nice. It's like, nice little trampoline. You can start to also play with extension and flexion of the wrists. That gets into some different layers. So as far as like 1 minute movement breaks go, this is one of my favorites. First, open up the chest a little bit, and then I go into a nice high lunge. I find that trampoline effect on my back leg hip flexor. Find a little bounce here. If I want to intensify, I can lean my spine back. Very gentle, especially if you're new to anything dynamic. Super, super gentle. And encouraging to let out a sigh, especially if you're like home alone or you don't mind someone hearing you. The opportunity to vocalize during these practices, I think, is one of the benefits of Zoom. Let's change legs. Some people get shy vocalizing a lot in in-person classes. So as we're going through stuff for the rest of class, I'll be encouraging things like the voice box larynx is innervated by the vagus nerve, so it is an entry point into the parasympathetic nervous system. And these bounces, it's a very strong impulse to the brain. Strong impulse to the brain, more blood flow to the brain, more energy, alertness. Good. As simple as that. If you want, let's just go back to the first leg one more time. I'll show you how I do it at this point. Just both at the same time. Takes a little bit to find the rhythm for it to make sense in the body, but it is a nice quick way to undo some of the damage of sitting. Just balance that out on the other side. Good, good, good. All right. I'm going to go into a shaking practice as we go through the 7 energy centers. Energy centers is what the name Dr. Joe gives the chakras of the body, so I'll be using them interchangeably. First, I'm going to come to standing. Imagine a string on top of your head, suspending you towards the sky. Every exhale, I drop tension down into the earth. So I'm elongated without any tension. Shoulders come ever so slightly back and down. Start of a smile, corners of the mouth. Shift weight into the toes. Shift weight into the heels. Back and forth, and just notice the range you have. And settle somewhere in the middle. And introduce an up and down vertical shake. Every time you shake, it's going to be different. So sometimes it takes a little experimentation. A nice gentle shake, always an option. You could even play with making it super subtle. We're keeping a little vibration, a little life in the body. And I can up the intensity dial if I want, have more of a vigorous shake. And my rules of shaking are, this is a good home base, the up-down vertical shake. And I always have permission in my brain. If I have an impulse to shake differently, a little bit more chaotically, I'll do that. If I have an impulse to find a little stretch, do that. Those impulses are healing signs from your body. Like, do this thing to organize your system. I want us to really focus on how we listen to those. We tend to push down these signals because we got to go to work and do stuff. But these little things throughout the day make such a big difference. On the exhale, let out a I love the sigh with shaking. It can also be a hum if that feels better. Imagine you can breathe through all of your skin. Just a reminder, at any point, this can become a floor practice. We're going to be standing for about 5 or 10 more minutes before we go into the official floor practice. But feel free to beat us there if that's what you're up for. Breathing through all of your skin, starting to breathe through all of your fascia. Really start to visualize that layer, that liquid crystalline structure that is creating your field around you. The fascia and the cerebrospinal fluid are very similar in nature for what they're doing. Start to bring attention to your first energy center, your root chakra, your perineum. That can be with your attention, and you can add activating the muscles on the inhale and relaxing on the exhale. The energy centers have an associated color, so I'll be calling out the color if you want to add that to your visualization as we go through and just breathe a little life, breathe a little balance, breathe some alignment into these centers. So red is the first center. Can you sense both the first energy center and all of your skin, all of your fascia at the same time? Every time I sigh, let that be a reminder for you to join. Moving up to the second energy center, the sacral chakra, just underneath the belly button. Color is orange. Sense one and two at the same time. Moving up to three. Solar plexus, just underneath the sternum. The color is yellow. You can be imagining these in the energetic sense, like a little ball of energy. It can also be visualizing the actual physical, biological structures that are in these areas that are correlated. Visualize one, two, and three all at the same time. The three lower centers, all balanced, all aligned on top of each other. Keep that string sensation on top of the head. Keep the sighing. Breathing in some gratitude. Breathing in some love. Connecting to a sense of wonder and awe. And gratitude, wonder, and awe is what I'm always trying to associate with these practices. How amazing it is that we have this magical supercomputer that we get to live in that we call a body. Four, the heart. Green is the color. If you want, you can try to generate the shake a little bit more from your chest here. Maybe finding a little mobilization of the spine as you shake. Sensing one, two, three, and four. All together, all aligned, all glowing, all balanced. And just notice that little imagination of feeling these balls of energy, which are real neurological structures in the body. Just imagining them aligned, imagining that vibrance can have an effect on the body. Oh, that feels nice. Up to five. Blue is the color for the throat chakra. So keep that sighing, keep that humming. Any sort of affirmations or self-love or gratitude you want to say out loud, you can do that if it feels resonant for you. Imagining the first five centers. One, two, three, four, five. All aligned, all balanced, all glowing. Moving up to six, right between the ears, indigo, the pineal gland. Remembering that the body is also made of atoms, which are mostly empty space. So you can sense your body as this mass of particles. You can also sense your body as empty space, as waves of energy. Just notice what that little imagination game does to your perception. Moving up to seven, crown chakra, pituitary gland, the master gland. Violet is the color. Imagine all seven centers, all aligned, all balanced. You can keep shaking if that's feeling good. Permission for other types of movement. So maybe bringing in a little bit more with the spine. Now that we've gone through a quick version of the shaking the energy centers meditation. Let's take 1 minute to move how you want to move, any way you want. That can be anything from stillness to a full out dance. Move in ways that feel good to you, that connect to my favorite word, kinesiophilia, the love of movement. Ah. 10 seconds coming to a close. Bring your right hand to your heart, left hand on top of your head. Soften or close the eyes. Start of a smile in the corners of the mouth. Let that sensation spread through your skin. Imagine you're passing energy in between your two hands, balancing out your brain, balancing out your heart, connecting your heart to your brain, and your brain to your heart. This is another simple one you can do throughout the day whenever you feel excess thought energy going on. Right hand to the heart, left hand on top of the head. Very simple but effective. Good. Let's move into the floor. Ah. So when we arrive on the floor, finding a position where you can just let go of any muscular activation, we get in the habit of noticing the breath. And as we notice, we may want to breathe lower into the body, breathing down into the lower belly, filling up the legs and feet with the breath. We may want to slow down the exhale, or maybe we're feeling good, we want a little bit more energy, in which case we can have more of a rapid fire. So figure out where your energy levels are. Do you want to be a more consistent, balanced breath? Do you want a little more activation? Or do you want to bring down the nervous system? And I always like to start with some yawning and pandiculation. So as I breathe, first finding a very small version of breathing with the whole body. So that means as I breathe, I notice my torso expands in 360 degrees. And I can also do the motion with my palms and my feet opening on the inhale just a little bit and closing on the exhale. It's like this whole organism is a breathing creature, breathing through my mouth, breathing through my skin, breathing with my whole body, with my whole being. And then long inhales through the mouth, trying to find 5 to 10 mindful yawns, and then yawning with the whole body, which is the pandiculation. So a big inhale through the mouth with a really wide jaw. And sometimes just being patient, letting the whole yawn catch. So feeling that buildup and the release of the yawn. Don't cut it off like we've been taught to suppress the yawns. Let them happen. Yawning and pandiculation is not just mammals. Birds do it, reptiles do it, even fish do it. This is something deep in animal biology. Evolution is not wasteful. It's how the rest of the animal kingdom does their fascial maneuvers, is through pandiculations. So if I'm simplifying the floor practice, that can be the whole thing. So when in doubt, expanding, contracting on the breath, yawning, pandiculation, finding shapes that feel good for your system. Everything else is just bonus. And there's plenty of fun stuff, plenty of bonus to play with here. But when in doubt, always come back to expanding, contracting on the breath, trying to have a series of mindful yawns that actually makes you tear up a little bit. When you tear up, that's a sign that you've hit the parasympathetic nervous system. And if you're feeling up for it, I highly recommend some vocalization here. And for that, I think about an effortless audible sound. So I take an inhale and I just let out whatever happens on the exhale. As you make different shapes, different sounds will come out. As you're being patient for the yawns to catch, these big, long, slow inhales as I reach my hands and feet away, maybe my spine twists, but I can really tense up all of my muscles on the inhale and holding my breath for a moment. And then let everything go on the exhale. So I can create this buildup of tension as I'm yawning and stretching. And I clench my muscles, I get that little tremor, and then let it all go. So the nickname for this somatic practice is the sea creature dance. Start off as a starfish. First, we become a sea sponge from there. That's the subtle opening, closing, breathing with the whole body. The sea sponge is just this rhythmic, pulsating tube. Humans are just a really fancy tube from one perspective. Starfish to a sea sponge, and then it starts to morph into some sort of hybridized octopus-like sea creature, where all of my limbs, all of my tentacles can work in this coordinated fashion, opening and closing as I find different positions to explore, always trying to find sensations that feel good, feel nourishing, feel resourcing for the system, continuing to and like an octopus, where the brain is distributed throughout the whole body, tentacles can make decisions on their own. Imagine we have that too. So different limbs doing different things, exploring different angles, pushing the ground away, pulling the ground towards, compressing, rooting into the ground, continuing that idea from the fascial maneuvers of wringing out tension from the system. Ah. If you're in a good place, feel free to keep playing. If you want a little technique to play with, I'm going to offer a few, and then we'll have a few minutes of open practice at the end. So, on that idea of expanding and contracting from this starfish position, my favorite things to do here to kind of get a flow going is to first side bend to one side, and then I start to curl into a tiny little ball, and then reverse where I came from. So I open up, I go through side flexion, become a starfish again. I bring my elbow towards my knee on the other side. I turn into a tiny ball, make myself as small as I can. Inhale, open up as big as I can. Simple side to side. I get small, I get big. If you want one thing to add to this, from the tiny little ball, I can open up on my side body and then return to a ball. So opening, closing, expanding, contracting with the whole body. Get as small as I can, get as big as I can, always open to it turning into a yawn pandiculation. The essence of this practice is this open, permissive space for you to follow your intuition, follow your impulse for what your body needs moment to moment to moment. What's the next just right thing is the question for this practice. The next just right thing, it's not too much stimulation, but it's also not too little stimulation. It's the Goldilocks zone. Sometimes we get clear messages of, oh yeah, my body really wants to find this big back arch right now. It's great. And sometimes it's not super clear. So I just start to explore what happens if I just start changing positions. I roll from my back to my belly to my back again. And pretty soon I find something that feels interesting. I follow that curiosity. I give my system the biomechanical nutrition of the movement. And slightly more advanced, but if you want to start playing with that stage breath we did in the fascial maneuvers, winding your system up. So trying to take all the slack out of the body. And then I would just take in 3 big breaths through the mouth. And I pull myself a little bit deeper into whatever stretch I'm in. And I let it go. So we can use the breath to create this pressure in the system to inflate the torso balloon, which allows us to get deeper into our tissues. First time I did this floor practice, I was like, oh yeah, that was nice. I had a good time. It felt good. Then my mentor at the time said, do that for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. And that's when things really changed. So I developed a relationship with this practice. I can get the benefits, the effects very quickly now. It's something that you strangely you get better at. And by better, I mean you get you get to the point of what your body needs. Every time you practice, your system's mapping out like, ooh, I like that. Let's do that more. Or no, I wasn't crazy about that. We need something to shift here. So always mapping out. All I have to worry about is staying curious, staying open, staying available. Sometimes practice becomes very energizing, turns into a full-on dance. Sometimes the practice turns into a nap. Full spectrum welcome. Start to come towards a close in a few minutes here. So see if there's anything else your system wants right now to feel complete for now. One more quick and easy fascial maneuver I really like is I'm going to grab the tops of my ears. Grab a hold of my ears. You can do this lying down, seated, standing, whatever. And I'm just going to pull them up as much as I can. I'm trying to pull my ears off my head. It's okay on this one to go into a little bit of discomfort. And then I'm going to open and close my mouth, turning it into some yawns. And then move my head to different positions. Keep pulling the ears, keep yawning, opening the jaw as much as you can. Good. To close out here, we're going to go through the 7 energy centers again, just taking a few breaths into each one as a way to complete and integrate the practice for today. So I'm going to do it lying down. You can also do this standing still, standing, shaking. So I just want to keep giving that permission for options for engagement. So breathing into the first energy center, root chakra, red. Second center, sacral chakra, orange. Third energy center, solar plexus, yellow. Breathe into the first three all together. Moving up to the heart, the fourth center, green. Fifth center, the throat, blue. Hum or a sigh. Oh. Six, indigo, pineal gland. And seven, crown chakra, violet. Imagine all the centers aligned, balanced, vibrantly glowing, creating optimal health in all of your organs, all of your neuro, myo, musculoskeletal, fascial system. Right hand on your heart, left hand on top of your head, connecting the heart and the brain. Dr. Joe talks about heart coherence and brain coherence. What I'm proposing with transformational movement practices is a full body coherence. The main aspect of that is the fascial tissue. So sense whole body coherence, clear energy field. right, thank you for practicing today. If you are not in the 30-day program and you want to be a part of it, I'm going to put it in the chat along with the Venmo for donations for this class. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat or unmute. I'm just going to share one thing if I can find it real quick.
Good morning. I have a question.
Yeah.
So I noticed this yesterday in class also, that when I'm shaking, when I'm standing and shaking,
Hmm.
it feels so good and I can feel, my skin like, but I'm having an experience where the front of my knees are feeling, they're not feeling that drop down. They almost are getting tight or uncomfortable or even a little painful. But it's kind of like sharp-ish sensation. Um, yeah, and so I'm just curious about that and what your thoughts are. Maybe
Yeah.
they to remediate.
Hmm. When I did I did a 30-day challenge of doing 30 minutes of shaking per day for 30 days, and the knees were the one thing I would notice of like, oh, I need to like pause in between shake sometime and just like flex my knee and like bring that full range. Uh, Dropping down to a squat, forward bend, squat a couple times. So that was one thing I would do in little chunks throughout the shake itself that was helpful. Um,
That's helpful.
In addition to that, I think one of my favorite things for the knees, pretty much anything lower body, is walking backwards on a treadmill that's turned off. It's called the dead mill, where I'm pushing the tread with my
Yeah.
feet.
Huh.
Super, super effective. It was last spring, I found out I had full tears in both my meniscus and looking at double knee surgery. And it's like, I'm just going to go all in on rehab for a month and see what happens. And started with 5 to 10 minutes. I built myself up to doing like 20 to 30 minutes backwards walking on the treadmill. It's
Yeah.
great cardio, and my knees felt so good, no surgery. So, one
Wow.
thing that is super effective is something backwards walking. If you can't do the dead mill, is the nickname for that one,
Yeah.
the turned off treadmill, walking backwards, preferably up a
Mm.
hill, is also going to be very effective for the knees.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. So, what I wanted to show here on this the slide, getting beyond the analytical mind. So, a framework for kind of what we're doing here with transformational movement practices. Dr. Joe's work is about this hypnosis style meditation where I'm trying to get beyond my conscious mind, past the analytical mind, to get into the subconscious. So, the subconscious, run by our autonomic nervous system, running our lives, that's 95% all our brain activity, programs, habits. So, he's getting awesome results going in through meditation. What I'm proposing in this work is that the body is the subconscious mind. So when we change the body, we change the subconscious mind. So the fascial maneuvers, the shaking, the pandiculations, all of these things are restructuring different parts of the body. Energies, emotions, memories get stored in the tissues. Ida Rolf, the issues are in the tissues. This is a real thing. There's mechanisms that we're understanding more and more about. So my proposal is for best results, dig the tunnel from both ends. Go in the meditation route and go in the movement route. And that's how we're changing the subconscious mind, which is changing every aspect of our life. Any other questions, thoughts, shares?
I have another one, and it's regard to the the daily habit tracker.
Hmm.
I was looking at it. I wasn't able to print it off because I don't have access to a printer. But I was looking at it and I was like, how do I fill this in? So I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, there's the three lines there,
Right.
and then 30 days to track. So
Yeah.
options for how you want to use it. My easiest recommendation is if your goal is like 30 minutes of movement per day, you can just
Hmm.
put movement, you can put transformational movement practices, somatic movement,
Right.
whatever word language feels best.
Yeah.
And it can be a check mark if you have a 30 minutes per day,
Got it.
or you can write a little number. So I'll actually track like 20 plus, then I did a 45-minute practice. So I have little numbers in mind to calculate.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
tracking the movement, and then in the transformational movement practices container right now, if there's a habit that you're wanting to let go of, tracking, are you doing that or not doing that is
Yeah.
another option.
Okay. Great. Thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah, you're welcome. Last call for any last thoughts out there?
Just deep gratitude for you for weaving this work of mindful meditation and just, yeah, the thought of the subconscious being the body is just such a game changer. For me, I've worked with Joe Dispenza's work and meditations for quite a while and have had some breakthroughs, but this is just inviting such a deeper layer to all of it. So yeah, just massive gratitude for what you're doing.
Thanks for the kind words.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
now what we're doing.
Yeah.
absolutely. So nice to do it in a group. I love practicing by myself. I think I'm gonna have some more of these throughout the week while I'm cat sitting here and have access to this awesome space. We're doing a lot of filming, so I might have like a even on future Mondays an after hours bonus session for anyone who wants to stick around and do some more spine movement is another thing I'm like wanting to do more of and not wanting to overload people in the program at the same time. So finding that balance.
Beautiful. I found that when we were going through the centers, I started incorporating like the tonal sounds. So it's like lam, vam, ram, yum, hum, ow. I might be missing one. And that felt really, really good. I think it is just those, but I don't know if there's a crown chakra one. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, sound is powerful. We're vibrational beings.
Yeah.
So yeah, super cool. That's the sort of thing that we can keep continuing to layer onto to all the practices. So
Mhm.
I like to give things as a template and then let people make make their own style, which definitely takes some time. So here's the simple option. When in doubt, do the simple thing, and then sky's the limit for how much we want to go deep into it.
Yeah.
Mhm.